Have you ever felt that moment when the air between you changes, but nothing is said? When she looks at you just a second longer, smiles a little softer, and suddenly your heart knows something your mind keeps doubting. What if the signs you're waiting for are already happening? Quietly, subtly, right in front of you. Some women won't chase. They won't confess. They won't risk rejection with words. Instead, they leave breadcrumbs of emotion, hoping you're brave enough to notice. Because attraction isn't loud, it's felt. And the painful truth: most people don't lose love because they made the wrong move. They lose it because they never made one at all. Stay with me till the end, because one sign you're about to hear could change how you see every interaction from now on. Comment the city and country you're watching from, subscribe to the channel for more real, heart-awakening insights. When a woman wants you to make a move, she rarely announces it, not because she's playing games, but because attraction often lives in behavior, not declarations. Psychologically, this is rooted in risk management. Expressing desire openly creates vulnerability, and many women are socialized to minimize that risk by observing first. So instead of words, she lets patterns speak. She lingers longer than necessary, finds small excuses to be near you, or stretches conversations that could have ended minutes ago. These behaviors are not random. Consistency is the key distinction. One smile means nothing. Repeated warmth, intentional proximity, and sustained attention mean everything. You'll notice it in the way she orients herself toward you. Her body turns in your direction, even when the room pulls elsewhere. She mirrors your gestures without realizing it. She maintains eye contact just long enough to create tension, then looks away as if she's checking whether you felt it too. These micro signals are unconscious, which makes them honest. From a psychological standpoint, the body often reveals intent before the mind is willing to admit it. When her actions begin to align in this way, it's often because she's already imagined the next step and is waiting to see if you will lead it. Another overlooked sign is how she creates opportunity without forcing outcomes. She doesn't push the moment forward, but she opens space for it. She chooses environments where closeness feels natural. She slows the interaction, reduces distractions, and allows silence to exist without rushing to fill it. Silence, in this context, is not awkwardness, it's invitation. Philosophically, this is about shared presence. She's offering you a moment that requires courage to step into. And whether you do or not tells her something important about your confidence and awareness. There's also the emotional layer. When her behavior shifts from surface level engagement to subtle investment, that's significant. She remembers details, references past conversations, or reacts emotionally to your absence. This isn't attachment, it's orientation. She's tuning her attention toward you. In psychology, attention is the currency of attraction. Where attention flows, intention usually follows. If she's investing attention without demanding reassurance, it often means she's hoping you'll recognize the value of the moment without being told. What's critical here is not to overanalyze individual signals, but to read the overall pattern. Attraction is cumulative. It builds through repetition, alignment, and ease. When her behavior consistently lowers barriers rather than raises them, that's not coincidence. It's consent in progress. She's saying yes in a language that requires perception, not permission. And the truth is simple, but uncomfortable. Moments like these don't disappear because the feeling fades. They disappear because no one acts. Awareness without action is still avoidance. If you learn to trust patterns over words, you stop waiting for certainty and start responding to reality. That's where confidence is born, and where connection either deepens or quietly slips away. When a woman begins to test you, it's easy to misinterpret what's happening. Many people label it as mixed signals or emotional inconsistency, but psychologically, it's something much more precise. Testing is not rejection, it's evaluation. It's her way of observing how you regulate yourself under subtle pressure. Attraction is not just about how you make her feel when things are easy, but how you respond when things are slightly uncertain. Confidence, in this sense, is not bravado. It's emotional steadiness. You'll notice these tests come in small, almost casual forms. She may tease you, challenge a statement you make, or momentarily pull back after a warm interaction. Sometimes she'll mention other men, not to provoke jealousy, but to observe your internal response. Do you tighten up? Do you seek reassurance? Do you try to compete? Or do you stay relaxed, present, and grounded from a psychological perspective? She's gathering information. She's watching to see whether your sense of self collapses when external validation is removed. Philosophically, this is about leadership. Not dominance, not control, but the ability to remain centered when the emotional environment shifts. A woman who is attracted to you wants to know if you can hold your position without forcing outcomes. If she senses that your confidence depends on her approval, attraction weakens, not because she wants power, but because dependency signals instability. Stability is safety. Safety is what allows desire to deepen. What's important to understand is that these tests are rarely conscious. She's not sitting there thinking, let me test him now. Her nervous system is simply responding to uncertainty by seeking reassurance through observation. And the paradox is this: the more calmly you allow her to be uncertain without chasing clarity, the more secure she feels. Your restraint becomes attractive. Your composure becomes magnetic. This is why over-explaining, defending yourself, or rushing to define the connection often backfires at this stage. Those behaviors communicate anxiety, not intention. Intellectual confidence shows up differently. It's the ability to stay curious instead of reactive, to respond playfully instead of defensively, to allow tension to exist without rushing to dissolve it. Tension, after all, is not a problem. It's the raw material of chemistry. There's also a deeper layer here. These tests are not just about you, they're about her. She's measuring whether it's safe for her to lean in emotionally. If you can tolerate ambiguity without withdrawing or clinging, you signal maturity. You show that you don't need control to feel secure. And that creates space for her to relax, because now she's not carrying the emotional weight alone. The mistake many people make is assuming they need to pass a test by saying the right thing. In reality, you pass by being the same person regardless of outcome. Consistency is the signal. Calm presence is the answer. When you don't flinch at uncertainty, you quietly demonstrate that you're capable of leading, not through force, but through inner stability. And here's the reflection to leave with: confidence is not proven when everything goes your way. It's revealed when nothing is guaranteed. If you can remain grounded in moments that invite doubt, you won't need permission to act. You'll recognize the moment and step into it naturally. When a woman wants you to make a move, she often creates emotional windows for you, moments that feel ordinary on the surface but are laden with unspoken invitation. These are not accidents. Psychologically, she is testing your awareness, giving you subtle cues to see if you can perceive her intention without her having to articulate it. This is rooted in both evolutionary instincts and social conditioning. Vulnerability is a risk, and she's offering it selectively. Sharing personal stories, talking about past experiences, or even revealing fleeting insecurities are all ways she signals trust. She's watching to see if you meet that trust with presence, understanding, and courage. The depth of her sharing reflects the depth of her interest. The more she lets you in, the more opportunity she's giving you to step forward. You'll notice it in how she engages you during conversation. She may ask thought-provoking questions or linger on topics that matter to her. She doesn't simply talk for the sake of talking. She invites reflection. She allows silence to exist, pauses to see if you'll fill the space with attention or insight. These pauses are not awkward gaps, they are intentional openings. Philosophically, it's a moment of shared presence where action and awareness meet. If you remain silent, she interprets hesitation as uncertainty. If you respond with perceptive attentiveness, you validate her trust and create emotional momentum. Subtle nonverbal cues accompany this as well. She may soften her tone, lean slightly closer, or let her gaze hold a fraction longer than necessary. Her movements and expressions create an unspoken dialogue that requires observation and sensitivity. These are micro moments of invitation, signals that say, I'm opening a door and it's yours to walk through. Recognizing them requires mindfulness, not just attraction. It requires seeing her as a full, complex individual rather than a puzzle to solve. That awareness separates someone who notices from someone who acts too late. It's also important to understand the philosophical weight of this dynamic. By offering emotional windows, she is entrusting you with choice. She does not demand a response. She tests whether your perception matches your action. Life, like attraction, is filled with these thresholds. Opportunities appear quietly, almost imperceptibly, and often only once. Emotional windows are a reflection of that principle. The timing, your readiness, and your awareness converge to create a defining moment. Hesitation or doubt can close the window. Awareness and courage can open a doorway to something profound. The lesson here is that connection is not built solely on words or explicit permission. It is cultivated in the spaces between, in the unspoken, and in the response to trust. A woman who creates these emotional windows is signaling that she is ready for you to lead, to step into the moment, and to transform potential into reality. Failing to act is not just a lost opportunity. It is the silence where possibility dissolves. So reflect on this. Moments of vulnerability are not invitations to debate. They are calls to presence. The person who sees them, honors them, and acts with awareness is the one who transforms subtle cues into meaningful connection. Timing, attention, and courage converge here, and hesitation can never recreate the moment once it passes. Act when the window appears, because in the realm of human connection, perception without action is opportunity lost.